West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Commanding General Yohana. Only authorized acronym. Look, Christianity, the home for white supremacists, the real Jews, black. Jesus Christ was a nigga. We scholars in the scriptures. Fuck your false doctrine. I'm a gangster, I can't go to church, they false prophets. I face the east and pray towards the sun. Fuck your peace and I don't need your love. I'm gonna have slaves when the kingdom come. I see my adversaries teaming up, but they ain't ready for war. And if they is, we gon' bring it to them. Bring up through the pages, reading Obadiah. Look, white man the devil, he was so a liar. Can't trust the snake, Jesus called them vipers. Why you love everybody, but we the ones dying. I'm bloodthirsty, pray my enemies drop dead. Don't do nothing God say, but won't forget us for they sins. Niggas hypocrites, I just want slaughter and revenge. A sword and a crown to give my ears. Home of the truth, you ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for it.
I was over there already. You already knew what happened.
For the truth, you ain't in this house.
Like I said, we had little issues getting in the
school. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child. And I can never be a Muslim because they worship rocks. If you serve the most high, then you curse my God. You know what I'm saying?
Go make me sweat, huh?
I'm in the belly of the beast trying to make it out. I know the truth, so I can't transgress the law. For a long time, was a rebel without a cause. I was called by the Lord. I feel like the poor man when a dog licked his swords. Game from my neighborhood, but I own all the stores. The church on that corner and my niggas still destroyed. We living in a time we don't really get reward. The Lord still prisoners of war. I got a Glock, but Brotherhood the real weapon. You practice killing in my yacht, but it's still pagan. Home of the truth, you ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child. Home of the truth, you ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child.
We're starting to see real change.
Yeah. Go ahead. Come on, West. Go ahead. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. Ain't one of us here breach. They come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. Ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat, boy. The shit is too easy. I'm gonna go, but they don't believe. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming, Vinny, bitch. And the devil screaming out, bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. When my grind, bitch, I'm working. Sorry, all them lines, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, they be churching. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. They cross the line, I'm gonna back up and I'ma hit his ass with his life. When I come through 300 strong, 144 a night. All my niggas weak. Men this bitch with the itis. Say, all of y'all do the sweet. Tell y'all to do the sweet. The nigga made the wrong move, we ain't make his ass out the league. He ain't one of us hit the league. He ain't one of us here preach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell them get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. Ain't one of us here breach. They come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. us, he a preach. Come through all black, gully jack, man, all the niggas on the street. You see this look that's on my face, bitch, I'm for real with it. I hit the streets, but on my glitch was in the field with it. You saw this cotton just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move, bitch, I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Gullah Jack revolutionary. Cold on him like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime, but you think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we pace. We form up in ranks. We buy the bad, this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on, that's cap shit. I keep it low to the team. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngest did a sweet. This a whole double way. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. They come through all black gully jack, man, all them niggas go retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man, all them niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man, all them niggas go retreat. Go ahead. All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, this and that for life. I'm like this for life, nigga, this is blood over. And your mother ride, it go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rubber. The world turned its back on me. I'm a crippling. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I tell you what. Don't pray for nothing, I'm sending curse. We can't forgive us for living. Remain in the trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rankings give me, have your respect to your oppressor. Be about your business, this loyalty is never sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind face. They said there'll be many adventures. I'm just grinding for my time share. That was a clan trail. They hunt you like bad pal. But ain't no getting out the game like you want it. You take that office of Dundee. They try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stay. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times. It is death. It was hard. Look. So how you feel about this truth about the show? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should walk now. Even your own people go to show. And the Lord said they hate you for my name. So you better keep it up. Ain't no more guessing. Ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Getty. Murder for capital knives, murder at the Capitol. The world in the basement, we like fucking raisins. I pity those watching life as it goes by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. In pump smoke, never tried over. They dead out, my brother be the dead, so I don't give a phone salute, my nigga, salute, my nigga. Like how you stay focused, I told him I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhood and weapons, still got weapons on the seat. Now never do my niggas like Bishop did right here. Never mind in our beliefs, they under anesthesia. So they say she leaving, said she wanna let that love go. So I let that love go. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood. So, how you feel about this truth out of show? This ain't the life you think, nigga. I should walk. Even your own people go this home. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah.
West till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west till the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Them soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every word nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get a dividend so we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but they abdominal. So what you so trying to do? Rhyming comical. This is funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to the pussy niggas. Just popping shit. Team of all stars. I told them I'm like a pop. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we go check on my gynecologist. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I rhyme it, this never regurgitate for the audience. It's all applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoking up like a parliament. The flow big stupid shit got me retarded since all the dominance. One west rising and prominent. Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west till the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, use my maneuvers, but I rhyme like I got group by maneuver. Rhymes hard like the debut by Medusa. 9 million Luger, 17 in the room. Only need a few consider for your Medulla. Allegata, for the regatta, niggas wild, they win every dollar. They rhyme bomb like a holler, like a semi-holler. The showstoppers and the robbers is the teeny bopper. But now I'm calling up Patron, premium in my vodka. I put the stitches on the block, modify the chopper. The small heavy, warm, ready in the working mama. No marijuana, say I got the loud desire to it. When I'm a baller, ain't no rapper doing like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they heat so none of them can get to the fire. But rap with me, and I had a nigga spin like a tire. And the deep, and I'm still buzzing some flavor. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fools with nighter, women coming through with the title because you carry one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
All right, clap it up. Hey, Shalom, Israel. We got Isupk started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. If it's not of 1 West, 125th Street, Isupk under Commander General Yohana, it is not the truth.
That's right.
My name is Priest and Officer 500 Mayad. I'm joined by my right-hand man, Priest and Officer 500 Kazawan, and this is the Isupk Chicago Monday Night Brotherhood class. You know what I mean? And Brotherhood is such an important class because that is the main thing that we are lacking as a people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
One of the biggest problems we have in this quote unquote so-called Black community, Hispanic community, Native American community is a lack of brotherhood. Not only Black on Black lack of brotherhood, Hispanic on Hispanic or Native on Native lack of brotherhood, it's the lack of Black and Hispanic brotherhood, Native and Hispanic brotherhood, Black and Native brotherhood. You know what I mean? Like, we have been so beaten down in this society. We have been so beaten down under this oppressor that we don't even recognize that we're brothers.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't even recognize the power that we hold, you know, that our unity can bring us. You know what I'm saying? And we get into all of these small, useless, senseless little conflicts because we don't want to unite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We are weakened. We weaken ourselves by not uniting with ourselves. See, our battle is Zalaki. Our battle is a very spiritual battle. That's one thing. We keep thinking that we're gonna be able to fight this physically. You know, we look over at how the Ukrainian people are fighting back against the Russians. Listen, that's how those people fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The thing about the Ukrainian people being able to fight back against the Russians is because they're united.
Right.
Everybody in Ukraine is united. You get what I'm saying? Our oppressors and all of their people know the power of unity.
Damn right.
They don't, you see how America is coming to Ukraine's aid. You see how the European Union is coming to the Ukraine's aid. You see how the United Nations is coming to the Ukraine's aid. Even your black behind, your Hispanic behind, and your native behind is trying to come to the Ukraine's aid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be, but got something?
Yes, like no, I was just while you was on that. You know, the Klitschko, the boxing brothers, the Klitschkos, they from Ukraine.
Yeah.
And they put all their riches to the side, all of they family, and they out there fighting that war with them Ukrainians with all the money that they got. And that's something we don't even see, you know, in the black neighborhoods right now with these rich people, Michael Jordans and stuff. They won't fight for us.
How about this? What's his name? Vitaly. When Vitaly Klitschko? Now, here's something that's going on. I don't know if you know this. Remember they were talking about when Russia first invaded, how the capital, Kiev, the mayor of Kiev kept standing up against Putin, talking about we're not going to surrender. He called on every citizen to gather up arms and fight, make Molotov cocktails, do whatever you can to fight.
Right.
Guess who the mayor of Kiev was? Guess who the mayor is that stood up to Putin? Vitaly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Klitschko is the mayor over in the damn Ukraine. And his brother said, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He went back, he retired from boxing and went over there and became the damn mayor. You know what I'm saying? And stood up to Putin and got more international fame than he got as a boxer. And then his brother, his brother, I think Vitaly was the younger one, right? The older brother is the mayor. And Vitaly said, oh, I'm standing next to my brother. He left and went over to the Ukraine to fight next to his brother. But you know what? Look at that. The two, we thought they were Russian. Back in the day, you heard about the Klitschko brothers. We was like, man, these two Russians coming in boxing, knocking people out left and right. They were Ukrainian. Okay? And they went back. One went back, the older one went back to lead his people. And now the brother see his brother leading his people and come back to fight by his brother's side. Why can't we do the same thing?
Right.
Why don't we do the same thing? We should, I'm not taking example, you know, we should take positive examples from the heathens. Instead, we want to be gangsters. You know what I'm saying? We want to be thugs. We want to be thoughts, strippers, prostitutes. We want to whore out our women, and our women want to freely give their body to whoever they want to. We want to take all the negative examples from our oppressors. Well, even inside of their wickedness, they can do some virtuous things. It's virtuous for them brothers to go over and fight for their people. They're supposed to. I'm not mad at them for going and fighting for their people. The hell with the Ukraine and that whole thing, because they ain't never done nothing for us. But why can't we do that? Why don't we do that? You know what I'm saying? Let's get right into the first scripture. Let's go to Deuteronomy. I can answer why we don't do that. The Bible can answer why we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me get there. What you want to do? Salakia.
28.
Salakia, my bad. The eye shall be evil.
Yeah.
Tell them where you at.
54, I believe.
Yep.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54.
Read.
So that the man that is tender among you.
So the what?
The man that is tender among you.
The man that is tender among you. That don't mean, okay. It can mean brothers that are sensitive. But that don't mean that some sensitive or gay brother, some overly emotional, you know what I mean? It don't necessarily mean that. It means your brother, the one that would treat you with kindness. You know what I'm saying? The brother that should have your back, that's tender among you. He's not a violent man. You know what I'm saying? The one you can depend on, kind of. You know what I mean? The brother that is tender among you, he's not running out trying to hurt nobody, trying to harm nobody, trying to kill nobody. You know what I mean? Read. What would this tender brother, you know what I'm saying? This non-violent brother, what would he do?
And very delicate.
And what?
And very delicate.
See, this brother is sensitive, is delicate. You know what I'm saying? He's tender and delicate. That doesn't mean he's a homosexual. Don't even, or gay, whatever the proper term is. Don't get that in your mind. That's not what this scripture is saying. This scripture is talking about the average brother. The average brother is just trying to enjoy his life. He ain't trying to go to war, let alone get into fights every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's not out here trying to harm and kill nobody. You know what I'm saying? And in some ways, you know, the brother could be a little emotional, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But this tender and delicate brother who usually probably wouldn't harm a fly, and that's most of you Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You would not harm a fly. In your youth, you wouldn't even step on a roach until somebody made you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't kill an insect unless somebody made you. You wouldn't harm an animal unless somebody made you. You wouldn't even fight back against your brother until somebody said, if he hit you, go hit him back. You know what I'm saying? We're as a people, we're not. Now you see videos of Edomite children, they raging as babies.
Right.
They're in a rage. You know what I'm saying? They cursing their parents out. They throwing stuff. Even as babies, they tend to be violent. They can be violent as babies. You know what I'm saying? They're full of this rage. You know what I'm saying? Us, we simple people.
Right.
But that brother who would not harm a fly, what's going to happen with that brother?
His eyes shall be evil towards his brother.
His what?
His eyes shall be evil towards his brother.
Your eyes will be evil towards your brother. The way you look at your brother, the way you perceive your brother, the way you think about your brother, the way you envision your brother, everything you as I said, perceive about your brother is going to be evil towards them. Right. You're going to blame your neighbor. You're going to blame the person living next to you for your poverty instead of thinking race critically, you know what I mean? And blaming your oppressor. You're not going to go out and look at your oppressor and say, you're the reason that I'm in this situation.
Right.
You're going to look at the brother next to you and you're not going to want to unify with that brother. You're not going to want to build a business or build up your community with that brother because of this curse in the Bible. Now, this is a curse from the Most High. That's the reason that you can't do like the Klitschko brothers and go and fight for your people. But you know who do? The Isupk under Commander General Yohan.
That's right.
Myself and Kazawan united together from two different areas in this city, from two different walks and aspects of life. We have some similarities, you know, in our worldly lives with some of the things we did and experiences we had, you know what I mean? And who we were, you know what I mean, in the world, some of the despicable things that we did in the world, you know what I mean, and affiliations we claimed in the world, but we didn't know each other. But what we do know is the Lord called us. We heard that word, we heard that calling, and we came when we were called. The Klitschko brothers heard a calling in the Ukraine, and they came to defend their people. Me and Kazawan heard a calling, and we came to defend our people.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Under Commander General Yohanan. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we all need to do as a people. What you need to do is stop whatever you're doing. Sacrifice a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself in all black. If you're a man, come do your 30 days. If you're a sister, come and do your 6 months. Clean yourself up of this world. Get rid of all of that nonsense and that noise. You know what I'm saying? All that is in your mind is noise. You got demons dancing around in your brain. I know because I used to have them dancing around in mine where I couldn't even sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? I had done so much in this world and you know, people may look at me and never think, but I used to be into so much, you know what I'm saying, and doing so much and had so much going on. The demons used to dance. I couldn't shut my brain off at night. I would sit up most nights. I had insomnia before I came in this truth. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in the truth. I sleep so hard at my wrist, I'll be snoring. You know what I'm saying? I be snoring in my sleep now. I ain't never snored a day of my life. You can't snore if you're not getting no sleep because my eye was evil towards my brother. I was always plotting on how to hustle my brother out of something, how to rob my brother, how to hurt my brother in some type of way so I can get ahead. You know what I'm saying? I would help brothers out. I wasn't a completely despicable person. You know what I'm saying? I had, of course, the Lord pulled me out because I had some good characteristics about me. I had some virtue about me, some type of honor about me. You know what I'm saying? Something that the Lord saw in me, that he knew was in me, that I was born with because of who I was previously before this life. You know what I mean? But I was under this curse just like you are. Any more on that?
If you want to go into the wife and children.
No, we're gonna stick to the strict. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of what kind, sir?
You know what I mean?
And towards the wife of his bosom.
And towards what?
The wife of his bosom.
And that woman that's supposed to be, you know, as they say, in your heart, the wife of your bosom, the one you hold dear, that you share your bed with, that you done had kids with. What happens?
Slakia.
Mhm.
His eyes shall be delicate towards the wife of his bosom.
Evil.
Oh, evil, Slakia.
Yes.
Evil towards the wife of his bosom.
The eyes are going to be evil towards your brother, towards your wife. Who else?
And towards the remnant of his children.
And towards your children. That's how deep that curse runs. Your eye is going to be evil towards not only your neighbor, but your family, the woman you love, the kids you love. You know what I mean? Any more on that?
Slakia, if I could, this scripture is so heavy with, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he was going to go into it, but the whole Kanye West scenario, the whole process, and how, you know, with the breakup with him and his wife, now he's no longer able to love his children like he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he has hatred towards his wife now, which Most High in Christ, she threw herself away. Maybe Kanye West needs to find a place of refuge in Isupk and find him a sister.
Definitely. You know what? It's so heavy that you said that. I've said for years, you know, looking at that brother, you know, obviously he's he's surrounded by yes men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Kanye West was not surrounded by real brothers. I was like, damn, you know, I was like that. I used to say back when I was in the world, that nigga need a friend, a real friend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He need a real, but now I'm in the UBK. That Kanye West needs brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
He needs a real brothers next to him.
That's
ain't going, that's going, you know, I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how much money you got. You come in these doors, you put on all black, you do your 90 days, you're going to sweep some floors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to carry camp equipment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to do the same things that the men above you did.
Right.
Every brother comes in here, humbles themselves and start from the bottom and build themselves up. It don't matter how much money you got or who you think you were in the world. A brother like Kanye, he needs to come in to do the UBK, get some of this brotherhood, get humbled back down and build himself back up as a new man. Because chasing after that heathen boxing drove him crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
If I could,
Mm-hmm.
if I get a chance, I got a story about what Kanye with the DL Hughley thing too.
Yeah, you know, that's actually a perfect transition. You know, I just mentioned the Russian connection, you know, I mean, the Ukrainian connection, just to show that these heathens can do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's the perfect thing. Now, the Klitschko brothers can go to the Ukraine and unite to fight for their people, but then we got two famous celebrities, two brothers that are massively wealthy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Beyond what you would imagine, these brothers never have to do another day's work in their entire lives.
Right.
These brothers don't have to do anything else, but Kanye West and DL Hughley, two very wealthy brothers, two very famous brothers, are sitting here fighting each other over what? Over a heathen.
Mm-hmm.
Over a heathen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because let's go into the article, if you could, Baba Gashar, so we can get a clearer picture of how this heathen woman is breaking up these two brothers' brotherhood.
Mm-hmm. Hip Hop DX. Theophilus London confronts DL Hughley over Kanye West comment. His people call security. Kanye West and comedian DL Hughley have been embroiled in an unlikely feud lately. Early this month, Hughley criticized the way Kanye West has been handling his divorce from Kim Kardashian.
Now, see, that's from number one. DL Hughley needs to mind his business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of being there, now you see, read that again. He what?
It says Hughley criticized the way that Kanye West has been handling his divorce from Kim Kardashian.
Now, here's the thing, man. If DL Hughley was not trying to offer his brother some sound advice, if DL Hughley was not trying to help Kanye in some type of way, he should have kept his damn mouth shut.
Right.
At the end of the day, everybody know that Kanye West has developed or whatever, has mental health issues. That brother is not altogether stable. He's not stable in his mind.
Right.
And then marrying a Kardashian, look, we done seen what the Kardashians do to Negroes. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is about that box that drives these Negroes crazy.
They undefeated.
They are undefeated. You know what I'm saying? They look at their record, right? They are undefeated. Kardashians, what? 8, black men, 0. You know what I'm saying? They done destroyed so many famous black men. That is ask Lamar Odom.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ask one day, Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush.
Ask Reggie Bush. You know what I'm saying? Hell, ask Nick Cannon. Ask Ray J. You know what I'm saying? Ask a whole slew of other brothers that ran through that heathen box and been destroyed for it.
Right.
And Kanye, for some reason, thought that he was going to be the exception to the rule. Well, no, Kanye, you are not. Kanye is going to be the worst one out of all of them now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And D.L. Hughley seems like, now we're going to continue with the article. Let's see if D.L. Hughley is offering his brother friendly advice or if he's been a simp and defending some heathen woman that ain't got no love for black men, that ain't got no love for black people, that vultured off of our culture to become famous. You know what I mean? Let's see if D.L. Hughley is actually helping his brother and Kanye is taking it out of context, or if D.L. Hughley is being a good slave for this oppressor woman. Read.
Khan. And the Chicago rap icon struck back with semi-threatening posts that contributed to his temporary Instagram suspension. So basically, they was going back and forth on Instagram with this. It says, the spat got even more interesting on Sunday, March 20th, when Yeezy collaborator Theophilus London confronted D.L. Hughley over his comments about Kanye. The Brooklyn-raised artist was enjoying a date night at Noble in Malibu when he noticed the comedian with the crew at a nearby table.
Right.
London claimed he stepped to Hughley while recording on his phone and demanded an apology for his remarks. However, the comic entourage apparently didn't take too kindly to Theophilus' presence and called security over to deal with the incident.
Whatever Hughley said, I'm sure they get into what Hughley said in the article, right? Let's see what his comments were if they got them in there. While I try to pull it up. You know what I mean? So basically, D.L. Hughley, D.L. Hughley, who should have been minding his business. You know, that goes back to this cursed, oh yeah, D.L. Hughley, oh, here we go. Let's see what he said about the brother. You know what I mean? D.L. Hughley should have just kept his mouth shut. Whatever he done said about Kanye, this Theophilus cat, Theophilus London, he's a brother too, right?
Common concept.
So D.L. Hughley made comments so foul about Kanye and his situation that another brother had to step forward and tell the brother he needs to apologize. He needs to apologize. That means he didn't go on over the top with his comments. He needed to step back and get his and be more brotherly. So like I'm trying to look up this article. Let's see what he said.
Oh, Slocky, I got it here.
You got it? All right. What did he say?
So this was back and forth. The first one was, now Kanye, when you say you had to explain my jokes to people, are these real people or the ones that you keep inside your head? And then he went back and said, Ye is at it again, huh? Well, at least I wasn't crying on the phone about how big Pete's rod is. If you want her back, instead of acting up, why don't you try doing something, some
right, pause.
Some pipe ups.
Right.
Yeah.
See, so that goes right into Deuteronomy. D.L. Hughley's eye is evil towards his brother. And you know why? Because he wants to impress his oppressor. See, D.L. Hughley may have been on a rant. He's been on a roll recently with some of the comments he made. He just said some deep things.
Oh, so like it, sir, if I could. He
Go
said
ahead.
he did a tweet that said, "Do you know how horrible you gotta be to make a Kardashian date a white man?" On the same version of what we were just talking about.
Nice.
So you know that mess with Kanye in his head. That's real unbrotherly.
Yeah, that's very unbrotherly. And see, that's what see that all D.L. Hughley had to do was shut his damn mouth.
Right.
All he had to do, call, you know what? And these celebrities can get each other's phone numbers easily.
Yep.
Instead of him being a brother and calling Kanye and said, "Hey man, you know what? I see what's going on with you. I know you're having a hard time. Is there anything I can do? How about we go out and have a drink? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk. You know what I'm saying? The way I think that you portraying yourself in a bad light, and people are misunderstanding you. And I think you need to. I think let's go out and kick it, man. Let's have a fellas night out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go talk about these things." Israel, Satan is a heck of a spirit. You know what I'm saying? It's what they say, the prince of the airways. That's what they say. You know what I mean? So you get to going too hard about something, you get to making too much steam. He gonna do his thing. So it's nothing. We back at it though. We right back at it. So like we were saying, D.L. Hughley saying a couple pause statements at that. We're talking about Kanye West and this D.L. Hughley thing. Now, as we know in the UPK, brotherhood is our main weapon.
Yeah, right.
Brotherhood is the thing that our foundation. Brotherhood is what we're building this nation off of, because the Lord demands that we build ourselves up on brotherhood.
Right.
You look at Christ and the disciples.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That was the most extreme example of brotherhood that you're gonna find.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? Outside of King David and his main man, you know what I mean? Like, The Bible has so many mighty examples of brotherhood, but Christ came to those brothers a stranger. They didn't know Christ, but he came to them and told them, listen, drop everything you're doing. You know what I mean? And we're going to go out here and save our nation. We're going to go and fish our people. We're going to go and bring them back together. If you love your people, like I know you love your people,
Right?
because Christ knew it. He knew all. So he knew them brothers loved their people. They had a deep-rooted love inside of them. You know what I mean? Because he knew them from previous lives. He went out and sought the brothers that he warred with in previous lives and brought them together again. That's what Commanding General Yohana has done in the Isupk.
Damn right.
He's bringing us together again. You know what I mean? And he told us the same thing that Christ told the disciples. You know what I mean? He'll make us fishers of men. Help rebuild this nation from the ground up. If you love your people, if you love your brothers, if you love your sisters, drop everything you're doing. Walk away from the world. Be willing to lose everything and come and build your people back up.
Right.
If D.L. Hughley had an ounce of brother, see, cats get it wrong. Just because you can get on camera when there's an incident, just because you can get on camera when there's some newsworthy story, you know what I'm saying, and say some things that sound deep and say some, you know, some things that sound like you quote unquote conscious, that don't mean you love Black people. That don't even mean that you are consciously aware of what's really going on with your people. See, a situation like this just revealed D.L. Hughley. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go to that brother and offer Kanye help. He didn't offer Kanye counseling. He offered him harsh insulting criticism. And he's taking the side of that oppressor. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. And just to piggyback on what you're saying, he's using the brother's, you know, his issues with his family to you know, use it as a comical way of getting everybody, you know, on his side. But at the end of the day, you know, even with Christ walking around and saw brothers that was in pain, and he let them know that if they walked with him, they was a brother, you know, with him. He would smoothen those pains out. D.L. Hughley didn't do that. He wanted to make the pain grow even worse than what it was already. You understand? So
and he's doing that once again to impress our oppressors. You know what I mean? He's doing that to gain some, because D.L. Hughley, like I said, he's been out here making statements against this kingdom. He's made a couple of statements against our oppressors. He's in various situations, you know what I mean? But he does it in hot topics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When it's a hot topic, he'll get out and say something. Everybody know he's kind of a sarcastic comedian. He's always been a sarcastic comedian.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he'll get out and say something inflammatory on a hot topic. But now, this is not really a hot topic. There's nothing to do. He thinks it's a regular topic. Everybody's poking fun at Kanye. You know what I mean? Everybody's making fun of Kanye. Everybody's treading on this man's suffering. You know what I mean? Not trying to help him at all, but criticizing him for how he's handling his divorce, his woman going out and cheating on him, his woman going out and being a whore. Let's just be for real. But he married a whore. So what did you expect? Just because you threw a couple babies in that whore, and just because, you know what I mean, you tamed her for a couple years, did he really think she was going to stick by him the rest of his life? You know what I'm saying? No, she's going out and doing what she has always done, spread her legs for multiple men.
Right.
You know what I mean?
If I could,
Go
too,
ahead.
sir. At the end of the day, he's already living out his punishment. The Lord is punishing him through his family, him not being able to see his kids, him losing his wife. He has a lot of star power, and the whole world is watching him be embarrassed, and his family not care about it at all. His punishment is being shown to the world.
Yes,
and for another brother to want to try to trample on top of him, that's why the Bible said, you know, love thy brother like you love yourself. Put yourself in that man's position and not try to benefit off of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what D.L. Hughley is doing. He's trying to benefit off of Kanye's calamity.
Right.
Because it's the end thing now to poke fun at Kanye. You know, I mean, it's so easy to do. You know what I mean? Because the boy doesn't have some filter in his head that's not working. You know, he thinks everything he does is right. You know, he's very narcissistic, and no one has ever humbled him down. You know what I mean? So that brother has something inside of his head that's making him go out and act this way. And instead of being a brother, once again, instead of helping his brother, he's trying to gain fame and popularity amongst our oppressors by poking fun at him. You know what I mean? And now they're going back and forth. And to show you how the oppressor is against Kanye, they're going back and forth, but Kanye gets censored. Kanye gets kicked off of, was it Instagram? Kanye gets kicked off of Instagram. Not D.L. Hughley for making Paul's statements about what the man need to do with his ride. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not for D.L. Hughley for making those statements and insulting his brother and attacking his brother. But Kanye made statements back, and then they banned Kanye. Because Kanye's the bad slave right now. You know what I'm saying? Kanye is this, how dare you? We gave you one of our daughters. We allowed you to marry one of our daughters. And now you out here acting a fool because she's coming back. She's leaving you and marrying one of our sons, or sleeping with one of our sons. She came back home. You know what I mean? And you got the nerve to keep harassing her when she obviously don't want to be with you and she want to go back with a good, quote unquote, so-called white man. You know what I mean? What is your black behind thinking? Let her go.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how they looking at it. Boy, are you sick? You know what I'm saying? We gave you everything. We made you famous. We gave you money. We even gave you a desirable so-called white woman. You know what I mean? That so-called white men and so-called black men wanted because she got a big behind. You know what I mean? We gave you one of the most desirable women on the planet. You know what I mean? For whatever her talentless reasons are for being so desirable, because I really don't feel that she's all that. Everything about her is fake, and she really don't have no talent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She got famous from being people say modeling, but she didn't really have much of a modeling career. She wasn't a top tier model. She was a low tier model that had a sex tape with Ray J. She got famous for being a whore. She was with Nick Cannon, but on a sex tape with Ray J. That's called whoredom and a public spectacle. That's what she got famous for. And now she's a multi-millionaire for being a whore. You know what I mean? Come on, good night. What more can? Oh my God! You know what? That brings me to my next scripture. This Shalakia. Let me pull this up. You know, it's just so amazing, and our people think that that it's the way to be. You know what I mean? Go to if you could, Baba Gashal. Go to Hebrews 12:16. You know what I mean? Our people think that this is the way to be. See, Kim Kardashian has set a horrible example because our people, we look at television, we look at our oppressors, and we want to be like them. You know what I'm saying? We want to emulate them. We want to do what they do because they're on top. Kim Kardashian is looked at as such an attractive woman. We got sisters out here that want to be a Kardashian. They follow the Kardashians. Hell, Sierra used to follow the Kardashians. So many beautiful black women that look 1,000 times better than the damn Kardashians were running up behind them, trying to be like the Kardashians. Y'all watch that damn whack-ass reality, Shalakia, my language, TV show, hoping to be like these pitiful, tragic, disgusting Edomites. Ain't nothing about them or their show redeemable. It's not like they're virtuous women that are setting themselves up to be good role models. They're all whores from the mother down to the youngest daughter. Every last one of them. Every last one has, all they do is sleep with famous black men. You know what I mean?
Salakia, if I could, even with, unfortunately, even with Esau, with the mama, she done turned one of their own into a woman.
Good night, right? You know what I mean? Like, what? Salakia. How bad I'm saying, how enchanting can that box really be? You know what I'm saying? She turned one of their top athletes. The man used to be on the Wheaties box. You know what I'm saying? He was one of their top athletes, gold medal winner, hailed as a perfect physical specimen of a man. And now he's Woman of the Year.
Right.
He won Woman of the Year. to show you how wicked and perverted this kingdom is, to show you how we do not need to be following after these people and letting them be the examples of how we should live. But and the scriptures tell you about these people. The scriptures describe them to a T. The scriptures tell you their nature. And this scripture right here is going to tell you his nature. Read.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicators.
Wait, Shalaki, if I could. Oh. Start at 15. Because this is Kanye and D.L. Hughley right here before they get down. Let's start at 15.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 15. Looking diligently.
Looking what?
Looking diligently.
Make sure you're diligent. Make sure you got your eyes open. Don't be out here falling asleep. Don't be out here unawares. Don't think that these people are something that they're not. If you're looking diligently, that means you are aware, you are astute, you're focused. Focus, Black man, Native American man, Hispanic man, focus.
Yeah, right.
Be diligent. Wake yourselves up. Get out of that state of sleep. You got to throw some water on your face, slap yourself, whatever you got to do. Open your eyes and focus hard.
Right.
Read.
Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of the Most High.
Kanye West failed, is failing in the grace of the Most High. He married this Kardashian. First off, the Lord said we shall not make marriages among them.
Right.
We should not give our sons to their daughters, and our daughters to their sons. We should not marry heathens. So Kanye right there broke a commandment. He broke a direct command from the Lord. Whether he's ignorant of it or not, he broke a direct command of the Lord. And now he is failing. Lest any man fail of the grace of God, of the Most High. Kanye West is failing. D.L. Hughley doesn't realize he's failing by not being a brother to Kanye. This is a prime time for somebody to go to Kanye in his calamity and be able to talk some sense into that brother. You know what I mean? To get him to turn from the direction that he is going in. But instead, what D.L. Hughley is doing is pushing Kanye further down the so-called rabbit hole of his insanity. Go ahead.
It's heavy what you bringing out, because what they don't understand is how hurt Kanye is right now. He even made the statement like, I can pay to take care of you or something like that. Now you see him bringing a brother up there to you know what I'm saying, pester him and stuff while he eating. Like this brother Kanye, he'll give his life up right now to make sure the D.L. Hughley go away.
Yeah, he will.
And they'll both be destroyed. This just like you're saying, they in the Most High's grace. They in the grace period where the Most High is giving them to live and straighten themselves out. And right now, they're gonna die outside of his grace if they keep this up.
If they keep this up, and those are two rich and famous brothers.
Yeah.
And look at I mean, you have to realize how insane it is for brothers of their level, of their stature in this world to be squabbling with each other like two hood niggas over a white girl. Have you ever seen two hood niggas fight over a white girl? They will beat each other's brains in over some fat, nasty, or some skinny trailer park looking, drug addicted looking. The ones in the hood that brothers grow are either this big or this big. And they will bash each other's brains in over that. Well, no, why? It's not because they're beautiful. It's not because they're better than Black women. It's not even because the box is better than a Black or Hispanic or Hispanic woman or Native woman's box. It's because that's master's property.
Right.
They feel that they've gotten something from the master, and it will put them at another level in this world.
Right.
They feel that when that white monster is in the car with them, that they won't get pulled over by the police, or when they get pulled over by the police, that they're going to receive some type of mercy. You know what I mean? They think it's a step up for them when it's really a knockdown for them in the eyes of the Most High. In the eyes of their nation, in the eyes of their brothers that really care for them. You think the men of the ISUPK, the true priests and prophets of the Lord, are looking at Kanye like, hey, he's doing well in life. You know, he
Right.
got that Kardashian girl. Oh my, he's part of something great. Kanye West with all his money. Kanye West makes way more money than Kim Kardashian.
Right.
Kanye West is much richer, believe it or not, than Kim Kardashian. Kanye West is actually a billionaire now.
Like, if I could, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he is the richest black entertainer there is right now.
Right now.
$6 billion or something like that.
You see what I'm saying? But when he married Kim Kardashian, they called Kanye a Kardashian. They didn't call Kim Kardashian a West.
Right.
They called Kanye a Kardashian.
Good night.
How much more of an example do you need to know that it doesn't matter what you do, how far you get, how successful you get, how much money you make, you are still second to our oppressors.
Right.
Period. Point blank. They would not even let a man as rich and famous and recognized. Despite what he did, Kanye has been in front of the president of the United States.
Right.
Kim Kardashian hasn't.
Right.
Kanye West sat with Donald Trump. I mean, don't get it wrong. It was a horrible spectacle, and you can really tell that Kanye had mental issues. You know what I mean? But the fact that brother has garnered, I can't go to Donald Trump and get a seat in front of Trump. I mean, but what I'm gonna say, will probably get me shot on camera. You know what I'm saying? But I can't request a meeting with Donald Trump, and he actually meet with me. Kanye West did, and Donald Trump sat with him, press interview, everything, broadcasted it to the world. So that brother has power. He has money, power, fame, and influence. What does Kim Kardashian have? Perfume, a clothing line, a porno tape. She got millions, but Kanye got billions. But Kanye is a Kardashian. Kim is not a West. That go to show you your position in this world, black man. That shows you how insane this world is. Continue on to scripture, Salakia.
Lest any root of bitterness spring up trouble you.
So any root of bitterness. Kanye is falling out of the Lord's grace. Now look at the root of bitterness that has sprung up and troubled him throughout the entire world. He is a mockery. Do you think that Kanye feels good? It's a sweet thing that's happening to him right now. He done lost his dog. Somebody else is petting his dog. You know what I mean? The dog then went to another dog. You know what I'm saying? Of its own kind. The world is turning their back. Black people are turning against them. I go on Facebook. You go on Facebook and you can see sisters and brothers talking about what Kanye should do, how it's a shame he's doing this and how he acting this way. And there's odd people talking about this brother. You know what I mean? And he's losing his mind. He's doing all types of outlandish things to get this woman's attention, and she's not paying him no mind.
Right.
Because now he's getting that bitter root that's causing him trouble. It's troubling him because he wants to be under his oppressor. He wants to be accepted by his oppressor. He wants a award or reward from his oppressor. He's seeking their love when they're not going to give them their love. Continue.
Like if I could, to piggyback, the worst part about it is his kids, she gonna turn his kids against him. And we all seen Kanye in the years. We know he's a good father. We know he take care of his kids. But the curse he's gonna get in the future is those kids gonna turn to Kardashians. They no longer gonna be West. And that's gonna hurt him more than anything. That since he even got the divorce, that's gonna hurt him more than anything. That's gonna hurt him probably more than his mom passing away.
Yeah, if Kanye makes it through this, because Kanye, the condition and state he's in right now, he's spiraling out of control. And brothers, and more than like when his mom died, he went to drugs. He was doing cocaine and all that. You know, now Lord knows the brother might be on drugs again. You know what I'm saying? If he ever got off of it. But in the condition that he's in now, with everybody attacking him and no one seems to have his back, no one's trying to console. Very few people are trying to console this brother and help him. He's in a state where this brother may commit suicide. Right. You know what I mean? That's the thing that D.L. Hughley being so unbrotherly and poking fun at him is not considering what if his damn jokes are the things that push Kanye over the edge. Right. You know what I'm saying? What if his little jokes are the final straw in Kanye's mind, and Kanye decide he can't take it no more and blow his own brains out, or pop a bunch of pills and overdose, or jump off a damn building, walk in front of a train? It's so many ways, you know what I mean, that a brother can destroy himself physically out here. What if D.L. Hughley is the final straw? It's the, as they say, is the straw that broke the camel, that breaks the camel's back when it comes to Kanye West. You know what I mean? What if he is the thing that pushes Kanye over the top, and then Kanye goes out and kills himself? Then it's, oops, oh, my bad. I didn't mean it. I didn't know.
Right.
You didn't know because you're being a selfish bastard.
Right.
You didn't know because you're not being a good brother. You're being a monster to your brother who needs help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're being a good slave to Massa. You're trying to entertain Massa instead of going out to help your brother. You know what I'm saying? Which is a disgusting thing.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That brother, D.L. Hughley, should be completely, totally ashamed of himself. Yeah, you know what I mean? And thinking, instead of thinking he's doing something witty, instead of thinking he's doing something, you know, so outstanding, he really needs to realize that he's being a monster. You know what I'm saying?
So, like, sir, and if I could, what it sounds like D.L. Hughley was doing was really, like you said, defending the so-called oppressor, because the whole reason he jumped in this is, well, why don't he just leave Pete Davis alone? And like if the brother got animosity against the oppressor, why you gonna fight your brother over his animosity against the oppressor? That's what we deal with today in America every single day.
Every single day. And what you're bringing out is so heavy, right? Instead of that he's coming to Pete Davis. That who cares about Pete Davis? You know what I'm saying? Who cares? I mean, DL needs to realize that no matter how much he defends that Kardashian, she ain't giving him nothing.
Right.
What is he gaining from doing this? Not a damn thing,
right,
except destroying your brother and trying to appease your master. That's what he's gaining, and that's wicked. You know what I'm saying? That's so evil of him to do, man. And he doesn't realize our brotherhood is our strongest weapon. But the strongest weapon that the oppressor can have against us is destroying our brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue on with the scripture. So because we continue on.
So verse 16. Lest
well, we finished with that 15.
Lies or slack. Hebrews chapter 12, the end of verse 15. And thereby many be defiled.
And thereby what?
Many be defiled.
And thereby many will be defiled. You know what I mean? You have to understand what they're doing is in front of the world. This little conflict that DL and Kanye are playing out is being played out in front of the whole world. Right. The black community is watching this conflict with open eyes. They're paying attention. They're reading the articles. They're on Twitter and Instagram following the comments. And then they're on their posts making comments. This little situation between these two very famous and rich brothers is going to destroy black men. It's going to destroy black men, black women, native men, native women, Hispanic men, Hispanic women, because they're causing a bad example. Kanye already has caused many to be defiled by marrying that heathen, because it makes it think it's okay for us to marry heathens. Now, D.L. Hughley, with his situation, is going to defile brothers and sisters and break up our brotherhood, because they're going to think that it's okay for us to poke fun of each other when we're going through something bad. You know what I mean? It's okay to take that woman's side. You know what I'm saying? When your brother is the one who is really suffering. Kanye went through everybody keeps forgetting, Kanye was going through mental issues and episodes and all that stuff. And Kim finally decides she can't take his mental, whatever going on in that household, but she finally decided it was time for her to leave. It's not like Kanye cheated on the woman, quote unquote cheated. I'm talking about worldly standards, because there's no way that he can cheat unless he slept with a married woman. So it's not like Kanye did anything. She just decided that she was done with him, and she went out and opened her legs for another man. Where's that virtuous? Now, even by worldly standards, Kim's a whore who stepped out on her marriage, but nobody is focusing on the fact that she stepped out on her marriage to this man. Nobody's focusing on the fact that she's cheating on her husband. Everybody want to focus on how Kanye is, the extremes that he's going to get her back. And that's why we say our battle is spiritual, because black people, you know for a fact, Kanye West should not be trying to get her back. He should be trying to cut her off and leave her, abandon that woman. And if she won't, and if I hate to say it, if necessary, abandon them kids too.
Right.
But Kanye got enough money. If he just shows some stability, he can get his children. You know what I mean? But that woman, he need to kick her to the wind. She already stepped out on you. The Lord says that relationship is done. She's sleeping with another man. She's already with that man. You know what I mean? That's instant divorce right there. You don't need no court papers for that. Right. That's over with. And D.L. Hughley is being a disgusting brother by making fun of that and poking his nose into their business. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? This is something black people, we do not need to do that. We don't need to be that way. We need to be there for each other. You see a brother whose wife cheated on him, and obviously he loved her, whether she a heathen or not. He loved his wife. He was obsessed with his wife, right? We know that that's going to put that brother in a very fragile mental state. Yeah, right. We need to be there for our brothers when they're in that type of situation. Right. We don't need to make fun of them and go on the woman's side, some whore side. We need to be by our brothers and pull them down off the stage. Get him out the public eye. Make him realize that he needs to chill out and stop making a spectacle of himself. Right. You know what I mean? Instead of making a further spectacle of him. You know what I mean? And we're doing it for an oppressor. D.L. Hughley and Kanye are defiling the minds and the spirits of black men and black women all over the world by this little silly conflict that they're having. Because our people are going to laugh at it and think that it's okay, especially since it's become public news. You know what I mean? Which is the most unbrotherly thing that you can do, which is the most unsavory thing that you can do. You know what I mean? Is make this man's personal struggles a public spectacle like this. And all for a heathen that the scriptures say this. Go to verse 16.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator.
Lest there be what?
Any fornicator.
Lest there be any fornicator. The scripture's already telling you that Kim Kardashian and her people and her kind are whorish people. Okay? They not only sleep around with whoever, whatever, whenever. I mean, I'm talking about from people to plants and animals. They literally have this thing called an eco-file where they're sleeping with plants now. Like, come on, they sleep with everything.
Good night.
Come on. They open the Edomite women will open their legs to anything and anyone. Edomite men will stick their rod in anything or anyone. Animals, the earth itself. Come on, man. And this is the people you want to be like. These are the people you want to be after. And then when it comes to spirituality, they're fornicators because they whore themselves with every god there is. Right. They done gone around the world seeing all these different cultures, all these different people with all these different gods, and they worship them all. Right. Every last one of them. You cannot find a belief system on this earth or a spiritual system on this earth that Esau is not a part of and tries to be the best of it. Hell, Esau is a Buddhist monk. He's a Hindu priest. He's a Islamic imam. He's a Christian pastor. He's a Catholic priest. He's Jewish. You know what I mean? Hell, I'm sure he's off somewhere in the jungle, somewhere in some tribe that we ain't never heard of, and become their witch doctor or some type of spiritual head. He's everything. He is a there is no fornicator on this world. I'm talking about mentally, physically, or spiritually. Like these people. Continue on.
Or profane person.
Or what?
Or profane person.
Or profane person. Their whole existence is profane. The way that they speak, the way that they eat, the things they eat. As I just said, they'll have sex with anything. Man, woman, child, plant, animal. They're the most profane people on this planet.
Damn right.
They're the most disgusting people on this planet. This is who you want to be like? You want to be like a person that's part of every religion on the world? every spiritual system. You want to be like a person that sleeps with everything? Everything. I mean, good night, everything. If they could, they sleep with insects. I guarantee you, if they found an insect big enough, they try to lay with it. A white man would stick his rod in anything. If he found a beetle big enough,
Right.
he owned that beetle because he's just too curious about how it feels. You know what I mean? A white woman, if they found a spider big enough, it's gonna open the legs to the spider ride. Come on, man. There's no fornicator or profane person. Read.
As Esau.
As who?
As Esau.
As Esau, the so-called white man.
Damn right.
We have proven time and time and time again who Esau is. So there's no question of who Esau is on this planet. Esau is running this world. Esau is the most profane person. It says that he likes the high mountains. He's a cunning hunter. You know what I mean? And Esau is the end of the world. Right now, we're at the end of this world. And Esau is running it.
Damn right.
So there's no question, there's no more profane person as Esau. That's who Kanye married. That's Kim Kardashian to the T. You know what I mean? If you could, Baba Gashad, drop that.
It's like, did you want to just that last part? Kind of go with the
Yeah. Con, if you could.
As Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
He did what?
Sold his birthright.
For one morsel of meat. He said, what will his birthright profit him if he's dead? For some bloody meat. That's why they love that rare and medium rare. Black people, stop trying to eat your steaks. Rare, medium rare. The Lord says we don't ingest blood. We're not supposed to ingest the blood of a thing. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even supposed to suck our finger. Like if you bleed, don't suck your finger and drink your blood. We don't drink blood. When you get them rare and medium rare steaks, you're eating blood. Get that steak well done. Well, like some people, I like it medium well. Well, whatever your preference is, but that steak should not be bloody. That's why they eat that bloody meat to this day, because their progenitor Esau sold his birthright for some bloody meat. And it's been that way since the beginning. He sold his birthright. Nothing is sacred to them. They gave up rulership of the planet.
Right.
They want to rule now, but they gave it up. He gave up his birthright, being the firstborn son of Isaac. You know what I mean? He gave that birthright up. He didn't care about it. It went to Jacob. And now Jacob, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, are in charge of this planet. We're the Most High's favorite. We're the ones that are destined to rule this earth righteously and properly, not Esau, not the so-called white man, but blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, as written in the Bible, as prophesied in the Bible, as set by the Lord our God, the Most High himself. You know what I mean?
If I could with that too, just tying it into the story of the Kanye West thing, these brothers is giving up them being able to have the kingdom because of riches. Like if they knew that this money and this glamour and this fame is the only reason that they beefing with each other and not being brothers towards one another, they doing exactly what, like the Bible says, you are of your father. You know what I'm saying? The devil paraphrasing. And they're following their father right now. They're gonna lose the kingdom for following their father.
And what's bringing out that show exactly, and because they think they got it now. You know what I mean? They think that they have actually gained some position inside of this wicked kingdom. They think that they have gained this recognition and this fame. They think they're free. They think they're free. I actually had a brother and that I know, Salakia, say to me, because I was talking about, you were talking about being Israelites, you know what I mean? Me being an Israelite, because they're a Christian. I was talking to a Christian. And I said, one of the things that we do is we let our people know that they're still slaves in this time. You know what I mean? That we're not free, that we're still slaves, and we need to come up out of this oppression and come out and say, he looked at me, I'm free. You know what I mean? He said, I'm free. I had to look at it, and you got to use discernment in situations.
Right.
I said, well, you're independent. I understand what you're saying. You pretty much work for yourself. But I'm talking about, what about the majority of our people? The majority of our people don't have the level of freedom that you have.
Right.
But this brother don't realize he's not free. You still get your money from the oppressor. You know what I mean? When the economy was going a certain way, he had struggles for a minute. Donald Trump did some things that affected his money. If you were free, it wouldn't matter what Donald Trump do. It wouldn't matter what the oppressor does. Your money would still be flowing. You'd be truly independent. You know what I mean? Free, you'd be sovereign from this country. You'd be able to make your own wealth and generate your own wealth, sovereign away from America. You wouldn't depend on the American dollar. You wouldn't depend on these jobs.
Right.
You wouldn't depend on a career that this country is giving you. No matter how successful you get, you're not free. Kanye West is not a free man. You know what I mean?
Right.
D.L. Hughley is not a free man. These are two slaves, even though they eat, as they say, high off the hog, even though they in the house. You know what I'm saying? They still two slaves fighting each other for the entertainment of our master.
Damn right.
Ain't nothing changed.
So if I could,
Go
just like in Roman captivity, when Christ said, "Still pay tribute," your tribute.
Mm-hmm.
With today's time, they don't even understand that these taxes that we paying is a tribute to the slave masters and the slave forefathers who built this country.
That's right.
Taken away from the Native American Indians, of course.
That's right.
So if you believe you're not a slave, but if you paying taxes, you're a slave. You pay taxes on everything that you buy right now.
Yes, you do.
And that's a tribute to the forefathers and the slave masters who built this country.
Right. Right. And what you're bringing out is so right. If you're not a slave, you wouldn't pay taxes.
Right.
You wouldn't keep paying tribute. You wouldn't pay tribute to the forefathers that founded this country. You wouldn't pay tribute to the so-called leaders in this country. You know what I mean? You're paying even so-called white people say that we're not supposed to be paying taxes. It's unconstitutional. And they find ways to get out of paying taxes. Want to know why? Because they're free. I've seen videos of people who stop paying taxes because they say, you're not supposed to tax me. And then they bring up this article and that article, and they go on and talk to the IRS, and the IRS back down off of them. They don't pay taxes because they say, I'm not supposed to pay taxes. I'm a free citizen of America. You're not supposed to tax me. No taxation without representation and all of that stuff. And they find these little articles and stuff, and they stop paying taxes. And they have not paid taxes in years, and the IRS does not bother them. Want to know why? Because they're free. They don't have to pay tribute to Caesar. You know what I'm saying?
If I could, I think the only ones I've ever seen get locked up for not paying taxes is blacks and Hispanics. I ain't never seen Esau get locked up for not paying taxes.
If you think you don't have to, if you think being rich makes you exempt, you think you don't have to pay tax, ask Wesley Snipes. Ask Wesley Snipes what happens when you don't pay them taxes. They locked him up and derailed his career in its prime. Jermaine Dupri. You know what I mean? It's a whole list of black celebrities who thought, because I'm rich and I got these fancy accountants and all this stuff, that I ain't got to pay taxes. Yeah, all right. You gonna pay your tribute to Esau. Esau demands his tribute. And you're going to pay it. You know what I mean? And I guess that's the sad part with Kanye and D.L. Hughley. They both slaves still. They both they're both oppressed. Them fighting each other the way that they are fighting each other proves the oppression that they're under.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? It shows more than ever how oppressed they are, because they are warring with each other for the entertainment of our slave masters.
Right.
Instead of, let's go to Zephaniah 2:1. You already knew that was coming. Instead of doing what the scriptures tell them to do, instead of doing what the Most High is telling us to do. Got it?
Kind of concept.
Read.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together.
Do what?
Yea, gather together.
Gather yourselves together. The scriptures tell us to gather together. It's time to stop with the nonsense. I don't care who it is or what it's for. You know what I mean? I don't care what beef you got. I don't care what conflict you got. I don't care what you're going through with another black man, another black woman, another native man, native woman, Hispanic man, or Hispanic woman. The Lord says, put all of that nonsense behind you, because believe it, it is all nonsense. This crap between Kanye and DL is nonsense. There are other things going on in this world that are more important than them two brothers fighting over some heathen woman.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Read.
Kind of kind. Gather yourselves together.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, gather together. O nation, not desire.
Oh, who?
O nation, not desire.
Show me a nation of people that's more undesired in this world than blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? Show me any people in this world. You can't. You can't. You can't point to the Ukraine. The Ukrainians are desired. That's why the United Nations are fighting for them. The world is fighting for the Ukraine because they desire the Ukrainian people.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you was in when America was in Iraq and Afghanistan, the world was fighting for Iraq and Afghanistan. You know what I mean? The world was divided because you had those that agreed with America, talking about, oh, 9/11 tragedy or whatever. But then you had the rest of them talking about this humanitarian crisis and America needs to leave these people alone.
Right.
Don't know why? Because the Afghanistan people, the Iraqi people, they are desired in this world. The United Nations desires them also. But you know who is not desired? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans here in this hellhole that we call America.
Damn right.
We are the most undesired people on this planet. Don't nobody want us. They want us to work for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
They want us to labor for them. They want our women. They, you know what I mean, for trophies. But other than that, they could give a damn about us. If we disappeared off the face of the earth tomorrow, they would be thankful.
Right.
They would be thankful. They might miss the work we did for them. But other than that, they don't give a damn about us.
Right.
They figure they've gotten everything culturally that they can from us. So we're useless to them now. That's why they're shooting us down in the streets more. That's why they're locking our kids in dog cages at the border. You know what I mean? That's why they're doing all the things that they're doing to us. They're kidnapping our women off the reservations at an all-time high. They're selling Black, Hispanic, and especially Native American women into the sex trade at an all-time high. You know what I mean? Brothers and sisters are disappearing at an alarming rate. We still forgot about the 100,000 Black women that disappeared in Illinois and Chicago alone. 100,000 Black women disappeared, never to be seen again. That's not nationwide.
Right.
You add up the nationwide number, and I'm sure it's staggering. Staggering how many of our sisters disappear on a regular basis, never to be seen again. Right. Either off somewhere dead in a ditch somewhere or sold into a sex trade.
Right.
And no one's looking for them. No one's trying to find them. No one gives a damn because we are that nation undesired.
Right.
You know what I mean? Any more on that?
Nah, sir.
If we could, Baba Shah, give me that next article. Let's drop that Kanye thing. Like I said, there are more important things going on in the world than two brothers fighting over some heathen dog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, we got other things. So this next article you're gonna bring out is about what this white student did to a Black student at a school to show you how they still see us. That's one thing we say. The scriptures say there's nothing new under the sun. Ain't nothing new, ain't nothing changed. You thinking because this is 2022 and not 1822 that it makes a difference? You think that we've really risen up so high in this society because we got two idiots like Kanye and DL Hughley who got millions upon millions of dollars, but they still fighting with each other like two broke Negroes? You really think that it's changed that much? A lot of you think, oh, well, I'm not there. Like the brother told me, I'm free. You think you free because you can make you 40, 50, 60 $1,000 at a time, or maybe because you make $150,000, $200,000 a year, or maybe because you might have hit made $1 million last year through investments or do whatever. You are still a slave. You're still on the bottom. You're still struggling because if something goes wrong in your industry, if something goes wrong in your career, at your job, and you lose that job, guess what you're back to? Square one. You're still back to struggling just like the rest of us are. You're still back to looking at uncertainty of your future. How are you going to pay your bills? If you were free, you wouldn't have bills to pay. You wouldn't be stuck in this system under this oppressor like we are. But all it takes is one bad day for any black man can have one bad day and be back at the bottom. You can go from a millionaire to struggling in a heartbeat. And all that money don't do, ask Bill Cosby how good his money did him. He went from a position to try to buy NBC. You know how much you got to have buy a television network? And he had the money to do it. You think he got that money now? Not saying Bill Cosby is broke, because I'm sure he's far from broke, but he's not where he was. Ask Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was a brother that was on top. He was living, it should be on the Telegram.
It's like I got it, but what I got is the video.
Oh, okay. Got trying to find the article.
Yeah, I was trying to just dump the article in. I know where to find it at.
Okay, come on. But ask Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, that man, one of his fights, he got paid $25 million for one fight. One fight. This brother used to make millions per fight. And then at one time in his career, when his career was over and the lights were out, Mike Tyson lived in a homeless shelter. He went from having 50 Cent lived that mansion that 50 had, 50 Cent lived in Mike Tyson's old mansion. Big, glorious mansion. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson was a very wealthy man at one point on this earth. And all it took was one sister to bring him down. One selfish sister brought Mike Tyson down. And he went from a millionaire to a convict. Came back out. Got back on his feet. Fought Evander Holyfield. Fought all these fights. Won titles again. And, reestablished himself in the earth as the heavyweight Iron Mike Tyson. And then Tyson disappeared off the spotlight for a couple years because he got into some controversy. And then the next thing you know, Mike Tyson was living in a homeless shelter. All of those millions and millions of dollars gone out the window. One bad day. If you are free in this society, it will take more than one bad day to cause you to go to ruin, to cause you to be in a homeless shelter, to cause you to be working in McDonald's or Save a Lot or something like that, back to doing menial jobs. There was a female rapper used to be with Rockefeller, you know what I mean, named Emil, First Lady of Rockefeller. Well, when I was in Philly, after her career fell off, a couple of years after she fell off, you would think Emil had millions rolling with Jay-Z. Me and my brother ran across Emil working in Save a Lot. You know what I mean? Down the street from my crib, working in Save a Lot for minimum wage.
Wow. To
make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? Back to being a regular person. From music videos and all them, fur coats and diamonds and taking all these pictures with all this money, you know what I mean, to promote her career and a failed album and no Brotherhood from Jay-Z, and she's back to working a minimum wage job. Disappeared. Going back into obscurity, going back to a regular life.
Good night.
You know what I mean? You are not free in this country. And without brotherhood, you have nothing. Without your people, you absolutely have nothing. How do you think we survived through slavery? Because of brotherhood and sisterhood, because we had each other. How do you think we survived after slavery? Brotherhood, sisterhood. We had each other. The Black community, even though it was supposed to be so broke, we were the number one family in America, fresh out of slavery. Building up cities during the Great Depression. The Edomites were going through the Great Depression, jumping out of windows and losing their fortune and losing their minds, while we built some of the richest financial institutions this country's ever seen. You know what I mean? Because we had brotherhood, because we had sisterhood, because we stuck to ourselves, because there was segregation. We were over here doing our thing and they were over here doing their thing. Our thing was working. Their thing was failing. You get what I'm saying? So obviously there's something wrong today because our thing is failing now and their thing is working off of our backs again. You know what I mean? And then we got things like this happening. You found an article? If you could, Bobby Bashar.
This is the New York Times. Louisiana student recorded whipping Black classmate is charged with hate crime.
He did what?
Whipping black classmate.
So some Edomite kid in Louisiana decided to whip his black classmate like a slave. If you could, Bob Scott, read that article.
Khan. The 15-year-old who also appeared to throw cotton balls at the classmate.
Good night.
In a video.
He did what?
Appeared to throw cotton balls at the classmate in a video.
So he went out to the store that morning before school and bought some damn cotton balls. He planned that out.
Mm-hmm.
He the night before, week before, however long it was, he planned that out. You know what I mean? He went and bought some cotton and threw cotton. Here, nigga, pick this. He probably said something like, pick this up, nigga. Or pick this, nigga. You know what I mean? That shows you we are under the disillusion that it's the older generation of our oppressors that are the racist ones and that the younger ones are coming. Here's the thing about it. How long are we going to be under this delusion? How long are we going to deceive ourselves and thinking that it's just the older generation, eventually they're going to die out? If they ain't died out yet, they're not going to. You know what I mean? There is not an older generation thing. It is completely, totally them. It is their race of people. This is who they are. The majority of them, they are very, very racist people. They hate Black people. They hate Hispanic people. They hate Native American people. And they show it to us and prove it to us all the time.
Right.
And we're the ones that keep seeking their love.
Right.
We're the ones that refuse to turn away from our oppressors. We're the ones that keep refusing to follow what the Bible tells us to do. Go ahead and read.
Khan. The president of Vanderbilt Catholic High School in Houma, Louisiana, denounced the episode as not consistent with the value of or mission of our school.
Not what?
Somebody taught this kid these values.
Yeah.
So I don't see how it ain't consistent
With the values of the school.
Right.
Now, it might not be because, they got to appear in public to be a certain way.
Right.
So it ain't consistent with the values of their school, but it's consistent with that kid's household. It's consistent with that community. It's consistent with his people.
Right.
Period. Forget the school. It's not about the school. It's about the race of people.
Right.
It's about them as a whole. It's easy to go in front of the camera and apologize. Hell, was that Joe Rogan apologized for saying the N-word so many damn times on his podcast? You know what I mean? And then said, it's a learning tool. I'll take this as a learning lesson. I didn't know. You know what I mean? So, yeah, of course, it's not about the values. It's not in line with the values of your school. But it is. And like I said, he learned it from somewhere, and he felt comfortable enough to go to the school and do it.
Right.
So let's not be deceived and think that he doesn't get some type of approval.
Right.
You know what I mean? That idea didn't come from somewhere. That energy, as they say, didn't come from somewhere. It's all around them. It's in their community and their neighborhood.
Right. And so, like, if I could, if it wasn't for the video and social media blowing it up, we wouldn't even know nothing about that. Nothing would have happened to that kid.
Exactly. And that's the other thing. When we see these Edomites apologizing, it's because that's the time that they got caught. It's not their first time. I guarantee that's not the first racial incident in that school. You know what I mean? It just got recorded in public. Like Zawan said, it got recorded and pushed out on social media and went viral. That's the only reason that we even hearing about this. If you continue on, I want to hear how he got the whipping on the board.
Video recorded on March 9th in the cafeteria of Vanderbilt Catholic High School in Houma, Louisiana, shows a student walking over to the table of African-American students. So this was more than just one student. This was a group of students sitting at this table.
Okay.
Throwing cotton onto the table and then hitting one of the students with a belt. The school's president, Jeremy Doudner, said in a statement on Wednesday.
So he threw cotton on, he went to a table. That's a lie. He went to a table full of Black students, threw cotton on the table, and whipped one of them with his belt. Now, I guarantee he got dared to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That unless he just really had beef with that one black student, and I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying, unless he had some type of beef with that boy that we don't know about, you know what I mean? He got dared to do it. He got put up by his white friends to do it.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? What are the odds that he would just think, oh, I'm going to go over to that table full of those Negroes, and I'm going to throw this cotton on the table, and then I'm going to whip that one. That was a plan. That's something that he had in his mind when he came to school to do that at lunch. You know what I mean? And he's in an environment where he felt comfortable doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure what they're not telling us is the people around him that laughed at it. Because I'm sure he got some laughs for it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody laughed at it. You know what I mean? Somebody told him it's okay. Somebody told him it was okay when he came home.
Right.
Somebody in his neighborhood is going, man, don't worry about that. That's just the way they are today. You know, they treat these niggas this way and that way, while us good white folks get treated this way and that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen to that boy. He's not going to get in any real punishment or real trouble. He's only getting in trouble because he got caught on camera. That's it.
Right.
He literally walked up to this kid, threw cotton on their table, and whipped the boy with a belt. In 2022, and you think, you know what I mean? You think that you're free. You think that things have changed. You think that racism is dead. You think all of this nonsense when the facts keep showing you what it is. The facts keep showing us time and time again. The scriptures show you. The Isupk show you. Your oppressor shows you. Day in and day out, who they are, who you are, and what your position in this country is. And the only ones that are trying to provide a solution to you is the men of the Lord and the Isupk.
That's right.
We're the ones that are trying to get you out of this oppression. We're the ones that's trying to get you to open your eyes and come back to your identity, to take your true place on this earth. It's so important that you know who you are. It's so important that you know your place on this earth and your place with God. The reason we bow down to these oppressors is because we think that they're closer to God than us. Hell, we grew up all our lives thinking Jesus was white.
Right.
And if Jesus is white, he said, if you've seen me, you've seen my Father, then we think that the Lord is white. But we never been taught by our Christian pastors in these scriptures. God, not only is God described as white, but Christ is described as white. Israel is described, that God is described as black, Salakia. That Christ is described as a black man. God is described as black. The Israelites are described as black. King Solomon is black. Moses was black. The angels are black. Come on, man. This is the black. This right here, the cover of my book is black. All right? When you get a Bible, majority of Bibles in this world are what? Black or brown. It ain't no coincidence. It's no coincidence that even the Bible, the book itself, is covered in black cover or brown cover. Come on, man. This is the blackest book on the planet.
That's right.
It don't get no blacker. The people in the Bible don't get no blacker. Hell, they called, what was that, Simon? You know what I mean? They called him a nigger in the Bible. It's in the Bible, in Antioch. That's how, come on, y'all. I mean, how much more, the scriptures say, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity?
Right.
It's not complicated. You know what I mean? It's not a simple thing, but it's not complicated. The simplicity you love is being subservient to a people that are supposed to be subservient to you.
Right.
For you being subservient to your oppressors. That's the simplest thing, man. You're supposed to be over these people. Instead, you want to bow down to them because you don't want rulership. You want to run around each other calling yourselves kings and queens, but kings and queens have slaves. You don't want slaves. You don't want rulership. You want to be a king with no throne. You want to be a queen with no throne.
Right.
You want to be a ruler with no kingdom. You don't even rule your household. The white man rules your household because the moment that they decide, I was leaving out today, almost late for class because I was leaving out. A sister and a brother was telling me how in the building I live in, they done told them they're not renewing their lease because they want to remodel the apartments. They said, hey, look, your apartment is slated for remodeling. And unless you want to pay this extra $200, $300, $400 a month that we're going to charge after we remodel it, they told the brother, if you don't want to pay the new rent, you got to move in 60 days. They told the sister, well, we want your apartment. We're going to remodel that apartment. You don't have an option to renew your lease. You got to move in 60 days. They didn't even give her an option to pay the new rent. You know what I mean? But they're going to kick this brother and his family and this sister and her son out of those apartments because they want to remodel them. But you're free. But you won't come into the ISUPK where brotherhood is your weapon, and we can find a way to defend you against that. We got brothers and sisters here that are familiar with every aspect in life, law, realty, whatever. And in this school, we brothers and sisters will help you find a place to stay. It's nothing that you would have to worry about. 60 days is enough time that we can relocate you to another spot with no problem. You know what I mean? Instead of there being unsurety, instead of being upset that our oppressors are the devil that the Bible speaks of, and that they're going to do devilish things to you. It's just a given. It's a given. What does scripture say? When you think it's peace and safety, sudden destruction. When you get comfortable, Kanye thought he had peace and safety in his marriage, and that's destroyed now. That young brother sitting at that table with them other brothers and sisters thought they had a level of peace and safety in their school because everything's supposed to be so damn progressive right now. Yeah, I mean, everything's supposed to be so gender and racially neutral right now. Until that little Edomite showed him what it was. Suddenly, he just suddenly destroyed his image of safety, of equality, which we know there is no equality in this country. And he reminded him and everybody else that's sitting at the table, you are still a slave, because he threw cotton at him and whipped him. How much more evidence do you need? You know what I mean? How many times does 1 + 1 have to come together for you to realize it equals 2? Right. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
If I could, what you saying is so heavy. So in this article it says, Major Malcolm Wolf, a spokesman for the sheriff's office, said on Thursday, what we release is all we can release at this time, noting that the arrest was based on probable cause. This whole video that shows exactly what this kid did. Right. And they said we just arrested him on probable cause. But it's saying that they wouldn't say whether they let the kid go, right, if he was still being charged. They didn't say anything else about that they was just investigating, which you know what that means if you know America. The kid gonna get off scotch-free. Yeah. He gonna be right back in class.
He's gonna be right back in class. Yeah. Right. And they're gonna use, he's a minor.
That's exactly what it said. Citing the fact that this case involved a minor.
So what that means, he's gonna get a stern talking to, young man, and then he's gonna get sent back home. He may get suspended from school for a little while, and then he'll be right back at school. Probably have to issue a little apology. You know, I'm sorry I whipped you and told you to pick cotton. You know what I mean? But ain't that what our oppressors said for hundreds of years now? Right. We're sorry that we whipped you and told you to pick cotton. Everything's okay now. We can be friends. But now you know your place, Negro. Right. Now you know who you are in this world. You're nothing but a cotton picking nigga to these people. The Africans come over and call us a cutter, which means cotton cutter, cotton picker. You know what I mean? The Asians have a word. Every race has a word for the word nigga, even though the word nigga is not something that was even original part of their dialect. You get what I'm saying? Oh, God. But they all have developed a word that means it, and they call us that. Don't be deceived. If we do not gather together like Zephaniah 2:1 said, you know what I'm saying? Let's get into a couple more of these brotherhood scriptures before we end the class. Because if we can come together with this brotherhood like we're supposed to, if we can do what the Most High demanded of us, we wouldn't have our young brothers getting whipped in school, at lunch. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't have celebrities like D.L. Hughley and Kanye West embarrassing themselves and being a spectacle for our oppressors. You know what I'm saying? And there's a slew of other articles that Kazal One has over there that we didn't get a chance to get into. You know what I'm saying? But we'll get into them next week.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But right now, let's go to because the Lord told us to gather together. Let's see. For Kanye West and D.L. Hughley, let's go to Luke 6:31. You know what I mean? That's what this is something, and I'm so disappointed, but I'm not surprised at D.L. Hughley for tap dancing the way he's doing with this Kanye West thing. But he needs to know this scripture right here. This is what another thing the Lord demands of us. If you could, about this,
Luke chapter 16, verse 31.
6:31, Salaki.
Oh, Salaki, that's what I meant. Luke 6, verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
And as ye would that Salaki, and as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise.
So as you want your brother to do, when it says men, it's talking about your brothers. You know what I mean? Only men you need to be concerned about are your brothers. If you want someone to treat you a certain way, treat them that way also. Do you think D.L. Hughley will want Kanye West poking fun of him if his wife went and cheated on him and they're in the middle of divorce? You know what I mean? With young kids on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Kanye loves his kids. There's a chance that his kids are going to not see him no more, and they're going to become Kardashians and turn their backs on him. You know what I mean? You think D.L. Hughley, if he was in the same situation, don't you think he would yell foul at Kanye? Don't you think he would talk about how bogus Kanye is and how unbrotherly Kanye is and how he'll be on the internet talking about he ain't he ain't crap for this. You know what I mean? This is a shame. D.L. Hughley, with his way of speaking, would be giving speeches about this is why black people can't get together and do nothing. He'd have all of this is why black men this and black men that and black people this and black people that. But it's different now because the shoe is on the other foot.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's not being made fun of. He's not being poked at. He's not being driven insane by the people around him. So he's treating Kanye in a way that he himself would not want to be treated. But if he would just turn around and treat Kanye the way that he want to be treated, maybe Kanye could come down up off of that platform that he's on of insanity and get himself together.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Just
this more.
Go ahead.
Verse 32. For if ye love them which love you, what thank have ye?
If you only love them which love you, what thanks is there in that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? D.L. Hughley is loved by his fans all over the world. But so what? What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree, all pressers love D.L. Hughley. But what profit is there in that for him? You know what I'm saying? If you only love the people that love you, you would only love certain members of your family and you would end up hating the rest.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because certain members of your family show you that love and certain people don't. You know what I mean? You can't just love the people that love you. Read.
For sinners also love those that love them.
See? Sinners love the people that love them. You know what I mean? Kanye has been in sin for a long time. He only loved he loved the Kardashians. He loved his wife. He loved Jay-Z at one point. He loved that whole Rockefeller thing. He loved his entourage. He loved all those people that were around him that have abandoned him now. Kanye is alone in this situation that he's going to.
Right.
But he loved the people that loved him. He loved the ones that were around him.
Right.
Read.
Verse 33. And if ye do good to them which do good to you, what thank have ye?
Right. What thanks Kanye, the people around him, you know, Kim Kardashian, they exchanged many gifts. That family exchanged gifts with him. But what Kanye didn't do was go out and help the poor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who he didn't help were the people of the community that he grew up in. He didn't come back here on the South Side and put his money into the community. He didn't come back on the South Side and even put up a homeless shelter or start an after-school program or do something productive with that money. Kanye only went around helping himself and others that were rich get richer.
Right.
Him and Joel Osteen. Where's Joel Osteen now? Weren't they supposed to be two preachers or pastors opening some mega church together? Where's he at? What reward has Kanye got from for helping a rich man get richer? Not a damn thing. Any more on that?
For sinners also do even the same.
Sinners do the same. Look, that's Kanye West is a prime example of this scripture right here. What reward or benefit has he gotten from only loving the people that love him, from only helping the people that help him? What has he gained from it? Not a damn thing. He has gained loneliness and isolation from this, and torture and trouble as that he's fallen from the Lord's grace, and the trouble and that bitter root he is now tasting, and the trouble that comes with it. Any more on that?
Lies, sir.
All right, let's see. So let's go down to Mark 12 and 31. You know what I mean? Actually, no, let's go to Matthew 5 and 22. This is something that would have helped that situation with them. This scripture right here. You know what I mean?
Matthew chapter 5, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother.
Now, if D.L. Hughley really had a problem with Kanye saying something about his jokes, you know what I mean? This is what he should have done. Read.
Without cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
Now, D.L. Hughley really doesn't have a cause to be angry at Kanye, because he might have said something about the way he structures his jokes. So what? You're a comedian. Tell your damn jokes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You really a comedian that ain't had a show or a concert in a long time. You know what I mean? So he is angry at Kanye without cause. He's angry at Kanye for nothing, but he goes on a rant. And now he's being judged by the priests and prophets of the Lord for his ill behavior. He doesn't realize, but he has put himself in front of the men of the Lord with the way that he's acting.
Right.
So now we can perceive what he's doing and break it down with scriptures and show where he's wrong and he's erred. And the Lord is watching also. He's in danger of this, said the judgment. That's the judgment he's in danger of. D.L. Hughley doesn't realize he can go outside and lose his life for being so unbrotherly, but sticking up for some heathen whore instead of helping his brother.
Right.
Read.
And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council.
And that's what he's gone up to his brother. He's gone up to his brother and called Kanye, basically called Kanye an idiot. You know what I mean? He's insulted. I forgot, but isn't that where Rakah is? What was Rakah? But how do you spell it?
R-A-C-A.
R-A-C-A. If I'm not mistaken. Worthless. Right. That's what I'm saying. So he went, the scripture is so on point. So for those who want to know what Rakah means in the Bible, which literally means empty one, empty-headed, or foolish. Is this not what he just did to Kanye?
Sir.
He just went up and called Kanye a fool. He just told Kanye foolish or empty-headed or absent-minded or ignorant. He just went, now he's in danger of what?
Danger of the council.
He's in danger of the council. If we were in our proper position in this kingdom, D.L. Hughley would be in council. He would be brought forth before the council to explain his actions, to explain why he's doing this to his brother that's going through a hard time. Now, don't get it wrong. Kanye would have been brought up to council a long time ago. But D.L. Hughley is now putting himself in a position for no reason to be judged in front of the eyes of the Most High, in front of the men of the Lord. Any more on that?
Got a little bit more.
Go ahead.
But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hell fire.
And that's what he's in danger of hellfire. D.L. Hughley does not realize how serious of an offense that he's just committed. He can actually walk out of his house and lose his life, and he won't realize the reason he's losing his life is because of how he's treating his brother in this time of calamity. We have to really be cautious and careful. The Most High does not play. We have to be cautious how we treat each other. We have to be cautious of the things we do to each other. We have to value each other. You can't just go out. I know the world tells us it's okay to do these things, but this world is about to burn. This world has been slated for destruction. The earth will be here forever, but the society inside of it is going to change.
Right.
You know what I mean? This world that we live in today is about to change drastically, and it's going to be cleansed by nuclear fire.
Right.
The Lord is not playing. The Lord is not fun and games. You know what I mean? He's not roses and rainbows and none of that. He is serious. He wants this world in order. He put it in a certain order and he wants it back in that order.
Right.
He put it in a certain structure and he wants that structure back. Brotherhood is a part of that structure. If you cannot show brotherhood to your brother, then the Lord really has no use for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anything you want to add on?
No, you hit it right on the head for me, sir. So
All right, come. Well, with that, we are the ISUPK. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. My name is Priest and Officer 500 My Yard. This has been the Monday night Brotherhood class. I pass the class over to Priest and Officer 500 Kazawan.
security now.
Yeah.
ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3, 8 through 10 means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, we got the 53rd annual Passover, April 15th, 2022. This will be at Cocoa Beach, Florida, 301 Tucker Lane.
That's right.
All Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. You are invited to come out and have some brotherhood and sisterhood, man, and have some of the best lamb you ever tasted in your life.
That's right.
You understand? So if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarves. We're going to do a courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Hamadi Shabbat, Hamadia, Barak, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah Barakathah,
Y'all about to Shem Rashab Rock Thumb.
Yazamatah, class dismissed.